secret. So, John, first of all, why on earth would China want to put up this sort of surveillance balloon? It sounds like something out of the 1960s, not the 2020s.
Or even the 1860s, Stephen, because, of course, in the US Civil War, the Union Army used balloons to spy on the Confederates. So long pedigree of balloons, but one that's been put on the shelf. We had aircraft in the world wars was the principal means for surveillance. And then after Francis Gary Powers shot down over the Soviet Union in the early 1960s, we went to satellites. And for the last 60 years or so, satellites have been the principal platform for surveillance, aerial surveillance. But what we've seen, though, is that particularly in low Earth orbit, it's got very, very crowded. And we've also seen a lot of space junk. We've seen anti-satellite testing. China's done this and shattering, millions of fragments that are permanently up in space, flying around faster than the speed of a bullet, many times faster. And that space is now much more congested and problematic. So balloons actually give you an option other than satellites. That's actually just at the very top of the atmosphere in the stratosphere, just before you hit space, that can be controlled from Earth, that don't need to be launched by a rocket, and that if you follow the wind patterns carefully, if you monitor them, and that's much more doable now with the advanced technology we have, you can actually track a path to get to the target that you want to surveil. And so it's really an innovative way of reinventing the wheel, if you like.
John, you say it's innovative. Are there specific things that a balloon like this operating in the upper reaches of Earth's atmosphere can do and see when it comes to spying that are simply not possible from even the most sophisticated satellite in orbit?
So not really. The sophisticated satellites of today can just about read what's on your watch. It's amazing what can be done from space now. So that's not really the point. It's about providing some diversification of means. Drones are now increasingly easy to identify and shoot down. These balloons operating very high in the stratosphere, actually quite tricky to detect. They are detectable. They obviously are, because this one was detected, but also tricky to shoot down. It's not so easy to shoot down a helium balloon quickly. It can take quite some time for them to fall to ground. And it's as I say, it gives you a variety. It means you don't have to rely on a satellite, expensive to launch. It gives you just another tool. The problem legally, of course, is that in space, you can overfly another country's territory with no legal inhibitions. But when you fly over their airspace, there are legal obligations to seek permission, particularly with some kind of surveillance platform. Civilian airlines do this routinely. But it is certainly an interesting development, and China's doing it because it can. The United States isn't shooting it down, probably because they're wanting to do it too.
Right. Well,